Hello, and welcome to an epic story that stretches across centuries from the frozen lands of old Scandinavia to the bright lights of our modern superhero movies. Today, we are not just telling a story, we are performing an archaeological dig into the spirit of chaos itself. We are chasing a shadow, embracing unpredictability, and trying to truly understand the most complex, charming, and eternally controversial figure in all of history and myth, Loki. Loki is an anomaly. The other gods of Asgard are categorized neatly. Thor is strength. Odin is wisdom. Thor is justice. But Loki, he is the contradiction. He is the fluid element that refuses to solidify. He is the master of the third option. He is not fully good, and he is not entirely evil. He is the necessary force that ensures stagnation never occurs. He is the chaos factor, the wild card, the spirit of fun, change, and sheer, beautiful unpredictability. He is the god who laughs when things go wrong, but whose laughter is the very thing that stops the world from becoming too heavy, too predictable, and ultimately, too brittle to survive. We see him now, largely through the lens of Marvel, as the adoptive brother, the schemer, the god burdened by a glorious purpose. But the Marvel Loki, as mesmerizing as he is only the latest incarnation of a far older, far darker, and infinitely more important figure. The mythological Loki was a blood brother to Odin, yes, but he was also a shape-changer, a tireless traveler, the ultimate bounty, and the father of creatures so terrible they were destined to destroy the cosmos itself. He was, fundamentally, the architect of the apocalypse. Ragnar. To understand this epic, we must hold two ideas in our minds at once. Loki the prankster, and Loki the cosmic destroyer. He represents the foundational idea that order requires chaos to survive. The Gear create the perfect, beautiful world of Asgard, but it is Loki who keeps the narrative moving, either by breaking a rule or forcing a solution. Without Loki's lies, Asgard would collapse into boredom. Without his actions, the end of the world would never come, preventing the necessary rebirth. This journey will take us deep into the Norse sagas. Loki's story starts outside the Golden Gates of Asgard. He is a child of the giants. His father was Farboti, and his mother was Loki. Loki is not physically huge like the giants, but he carries their spirit, a profound disregard for the rigid order of the gods. He is thin, handsome, and terrifyingly clever. He is the energy of a wildfire, uncontrollable and beautiful. His place among the gods is secured by a solemn, sacred act. Odin and Loki became blood brothers. This act, mixing their blood and swearing eternal loyalty, is crucial. It means Loki is protected by the highest authority in the cosmos. Odin's decision to elevate the son of his enemies remains one of the great mysteries of the myths. Perhaps Odin, the god, always seeking knowledge and change, recognized that the gods needed a counterbalance to their own perfection. They needed a lie. They needed a loophole. They needed Loki. This myth perfectly illustrates Loki's role as the indispensable fixer. In the early days, a mysterious giant builder arrived and offered to construct a mighty wall around Asgard, promising unparalleled protection. His payment, the sun, the moon, and the goddess, Freya. The gods, certain he couldn't finish the colossal task in the given time, foolishly agreed. When the giant was nearing completion, aided by his impossibly strong stallion, Svalfari panic set in. The gods realized they would lose the sun, the moon, and Freya, plunging their world into darkness and sorrow. It was Loki who stepped forward. Loki transformed into a beautiful female horse and lured the giant stallion away, distracting it for 3 days. The giant could not finish the wall on time, and the gods, keeping their precious prizes, quickly killed him. The twist: Loki, in his female horse form, became pregnant by Svalfari, and later gave birth to Sleipnir, the magnificent 8-legged horse. Sleipnir became Odin's personal mount, allowing the Allfather to travel through the 9 realms faster than any other creature. Loki broke the deal, saved the cosmos from darkness, and inadvertently provided the king of the gods with his greatest tool. Another key story, confirming Loki's function as the catalyst of creation. In a moment of petty cruelty, perhaps boredom or simply malice, Loki stole into Thor's hall and shaved the stunning golden hair of his wife, Sif. Thor's rage was legendary. He caught Loki and threatened to break every bone in his body unless he found a way to undo the damage. To save his own skin, Loki traveled to the dwarves, the master smiths of the realms. He bet to rival groups of dwarves that they could not create gifts better than the others. The result of this mischief was astonishing. Not only did he get new, magical golden hair for Sif, but he also secured the 3 greatest treasures of the gods: Odin's spear, Freyr's magical folding ship, and most importantly, the hammer, Thor's weapon. Without Loki's destructive prank, Asgard would not possess the mighty tools that secured their power and dominance. Loki destroys order, but the resultant reorder is always stronger. Loki had children with his loyal wife, Sigyn, who remain largely background figures, but it is his terrifying offspring with the giantess, Angerboda, that defined his destiny as the god of destruction. The gods knew of a prophecy that stated these children would be the end of the world. Fearful, they tried to control them, an act that ironically sealed the prophecy's fulfillment. The Fenris wolf grew at an alarming speed, his size and savagery frightening even the most battle-hardened gods. He was deemed the most dangerous. The gods could not simply kill him, so they decided they must bind him. They presented him with metal chains, pretending it was a test of strength. Fenrir broke the first 2 powerful chains easily. Finally, they tasked the dwarves to forge an impossible chain, Gleipnir. This binding was made of 6 unseen, impossible things: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the breath of a fish, and so on. It looked like a thin, silky ribbon. Fenrir, sensing the trickery, demanded a god place his hand in the wolf's mouth as a pledge of good faith. Only two, the god of law and order, bravely stepped forward and sacrificed his hand. When the wolf realized he was bound, Fenrir is more than a monster. He represents lawlessness and boundless natural force. He is the chaotic strength that can never truly be tamed by rules. At Ragnarok, he will break his bonds and fulfill his terrifying destiny by devouring Odin, the All-Father, before being slain by Odin's son, the second child. Jormungand was thrown into the massive ocean surrounding Earth. He grew so vast that he wrapped himself around the entire planet, biting his own tail. He's the symbol of the cosmic cycle, an untamed nature, a living boundary that keeps the world whole, yet threatens to crush it at any moment. Jormungandr is destined to fight Thor. The myths describe several epic, terrifying encounters between them. Loki's son is the ultimate expression of Thor's strength and temper. At the final battle, Jormungandr will rise from the sea, poisoning the land and water with his venom. Thor will summon all his power to defeat the serpent. But after taking 9 steps, he too will fall dead, overcome by the poison. The last child, Hel, was cast down into the freezing, misty realm that bears her name. She was given dominion over the dead, specifically those who die from sickness or old age, not in glorious battle. She is a visually striking and disturbing figure, described as half beautiful, half corpse, representing the duality of life and decay. She rules a vast, often cruel, but ordered kingdom of the deceased. Hell embodies inevitable mortality. She is the unavoidable destination for all mortals. By fathering these three forces, Loki's identity is cemented. He is not just the Joker at the banquet, he is the father of the three keys that unlock the apocalypse. The death of Baldur, the son of Odin and Frigg, is the single act that shifts Loki from mischievous god to absolute enemy. Baldur was the god of light and purity, so beloved that his death plunged the cosmos into grief. When Baldur began having dreams of his own death, his mother, Frigg, took extraordinary measures. She traveled across the 9 realms, extracting an oath from every single thing: fire, water, iron, stones, diseases, plants, animals, that they would never harm Baldur. Baldur became invincible, and the gods, foolishly, made a sport of throwing things at him to watch them bounce away. Loki watched this spectacle, fueled by spite and exclusion. He disguised himself as an old woman and subtly questioned Frigg. He found the one tiny flaw in her massive shield of protection. She deemed the mistletoe too young and insignificant to take the oath. Loki, a master of finding the small hole in the grand design, quickly crafted a mistletoe dart. He approached Baldur's blind brother, who was unable to join the game. Loki placed the dart in Hr's hand and guided his throw. The tiny, unassuming dart pierced Baldur's heart. Loki killed light, using innocence and triviality, an act of sheer, calculated malice. This was not chaos for creation. It was chaos for spite. It was unforgivable. After publicly insulting all the gods at a feast, Loki was finally hunted down. His capture and punishment are among the most brutal scenes in all mythology. The gods used the guts of one of his sons killed specifically for the task to bind him to 3 stone slabs. Above his head, the goddess Sky placed a venomous serpent. Its venom dripped constantly onto his face, causing unbearable, acidic pain. Who remained loyal? His wife Sigyn. In a profound act of tragic love and duty, Sigyn sat by her husband's side, holding a wooden bowl above his face to catch the dripping venom. This act of mercy defined her. But when the bowl filled up, Sigyn was forced to turn away to empty it. In those brief moments, the venom would strike Loki's face, causing him to writhe and thrash so violently against his bonds that the entire world would shake an earthquake. Loki lies there, fueled by pain and growing rage, waiting only for the trumpet blast of Ragnarok to call him to freedom and vengeance. For a millennium, the Norse Loki was a dark figure of scholarly study. Then, in 1962, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby resurrected him in the pages of Marvel Comics. They needed a powerful, intelligent rival for Thor, and the idea of the envious, scheming adopted brother was perfect. The comic book Loki retained the magic and the thirst for power, but was fundamentally driven by a psychological wound: the desperate need to escape Thor's shadow and gain Odin's love. The true lightning strike, however, was the casting of Tom Hiddleston for the MCU in 2011. Hiddleston brought an immediate, irresistible charm and a deep-seated vulnerability that redefined the character globally. His Loki was not just a villain, he was wounded royalty. In the first Thor film, Loki's discovery that he was a frost giant, the child of the gods' enemies, was framed as a profound trauma. His villainy stemmed from a quest for an attempt to prove he was worthy of Odin's love by conquering Earth in the Avengers. This Loki was a Shakespearean villain, hurt, theatrical, and desperate for power to fill the void of his identity crisis. His line, "I am burdened with glorious purpose," became the defining quote of the wounded outsider. This performance turned a comic book villain into a global cultural phenomenon. After his defeat, Loki began his long, messy arc toward anti-hero status in films like Thor, The Dark World. He was forced into alliance with Thor to save Frigga, and eventually Asgard. He became the clever rogue, the master manipulator who often manipulated things into a better outcome, even if his motives were selfish. This transformation peaked in Thor Ragnarok. Stripped of his home and his father, Loki became a cynical, witty, and surprisingly helpful partner. He used his cleverness to save Asgard's people. The audience learned to trust that while he might betray Thor, he would rarely let Thor fall. He was still family. His tragic death at the hands of Thanos in Avengers: Infinity War was a final, genuine act of heroism, sacrificing himself for his brother. We have traveled from the mists of ancient Asgard, where Loki was bound by guts and venom, to the glowing timeline at the heart of the universe, where he is now the quiet guardian of all existence. Loki is not just a god. He is an idea. He is the dark shadow that makes the light more valuable. He is the necessary lie that leads to a greater truth. He is the eternal outsider who shows us that sometimes the most important seat is not at the table, but the one you make for yourself. In the old world, he was the catalyst for Ragnarok, the required end that paved the way for a beautiful beginning. In the new world, he is the god of stories, the one who holds the narrative threads of time, ensuring that all possibilities, all the glorious, messy, complicated stories can continue. He is not a hero. He is not a villain. He is simply Loki. And the world would be an incredibly, profoundly, tragically boring place without him. Thank you for joining this deep dive into the life and purpose of the trickster god.